I'm a Cornwall-based textile designer currently working on a body of work all to do with Virginia Woolf and the Bloomsbury Group. This is my first collection of work that's going to be shown in a gallery, so join me on my process to designing this waistcoat, which is one of the key pieces in the collection. We started by going to Charleston Farmhouse for some research, which was just so inspiring. It was lovely being there, but I was already excited to get back so I could start doing a little bit more research and get going on my sketchbook. I used this to decide what sort of colours I wanted to use, the kind of shapes I was interested in. I got really interested in these kind of symmetrical flowers, so I started working with paper cuts. I knew for this collection I didn't want to buy anything new, so I did a lot of hunting for vintage pieces that I could use within it. And I'm so excited that the only thing I bought new was a couple of buttons, which are made entirely from recycled materials, so I was thrilled with that. After that, I was on to drafting the pattern for the waistcoat. I draft all my own patterns as I trained in tailoring, through doing costume, dancewear, historical tailoring, all things like that. So I really enjoy pattern cutting. Lots of people ask me if my patterns are for sale. They're not, I'm afraid. They're just ones that I use, but I'm thrilled that you like them enough to ask. So thank you very much. I was so excited to find this olive fabric. It's a vintage ex-military twill. I then started translating my designs into silk and placing them on the twill. These are all vintage Japanese silks, which I've recycled to make these images. And then I started embroidering them to do the final process. This part is just always my favourite part, when you can start to seeing it all come together. I find it really satisfying getting to put all the sort of finer mark making lines in while I'm doing it. I just love this part so much. All my threads are vintage silk ones as well that I got from various car boots and vintage fairs, and I find I really prefer those because you actually get far more interesting colours than you do with the modern ones as well. Once I'd done that bit, I constructed the waistcoat on my sewing machine and sewed all the parts together, which was really lovely to get that bit done. And then it was just the finishing touches of popping the buttons on and the labels. You can see here that there's also text embroidered in all the garments I've done as well. I became really fascinated when I was researching this project in the kind of tactile nature of a lot of women's work, in the sense of writing, mothering, gardening, embroidery, and the quotes that are on there are all Virginia Woolf's words, and I've sort of emulated her handwriting when stitching them as well. I'm going to talk more about my inspirations in the next video, but this body of work will all be available to see and to buy from the Milieu Gallery in St. Ives from September 12th.